Well, hello everybody! My name is Drak, and this is a Let's Play of Final Fantasy IV for the PSP, originally for the Super Nintendo, and thus begins the 16-bit era of Final Fantasy. And let's go ahead and get started with a bang. I am glad everybody is here. Let's enjoy the story, and one of my favorite songs from Nobuo Uematsu. Oh, I love this song, Red Wings. Captain, we will arrive in Baron shortly! Very well. The captain seems kinda down. Yeah, well, you know. After what he did, who wouldn't be? That, and he is a Dark Knight, which means he's technically Batman. Orders are orders, but killing innocent people to get the crystal isn't right. What? What? This is supposed to be the good guy! Yep, we're the good guys and we're killing people. This isn't a good start. Oh, and I guess this is one of the 4 crystals, so yeah, really starting to wonder if we're the good guy or not. The Red Wings are supposed to protect people, not harm them. Well, that wasn't protecting. That's enough. I'm Batman. But Captain! Surely you don't condone what we've done? That's a big word. All of you, listen well. The raid on Mysidia was imperative. Why? For Baron to prosper, we need the crystal's power. The king and his council concluded that the Mysidians knew too much about the crystals. Ah. We are the king's Red Wings. We cannot defy his orders. Captain. Somebody's questioning. This isn't good. This is our main protagonist. Oh, Captain! Monsters sighted dead ahead! Prepare for battle! So everybody gets to the little pixelated cannons. We can't tell if they're hitting anything, but battle time. So this is our main protagonist, Cecil. As you can see, he's kind of a brooding sort. This doesn't really change. Are you alright? We've got more hostiles! Oh, wait, wrong guy. Damnation! And these are items that you don't get when you get to play him, but any losses? And of course we have to see monster marks. All accounted for, sir. We've been encountering a surprising number of monsters lately. Of course you have. Could this be some kind of punishment from the gods? I don't know, is it? Captain, we are now over Baron. Very well. Prepare for landing. So Cecil is right now the captain of the Red Wings, which is an airship fleet, as you're seeing, but technically in this universe, it is the only airship fleet. So that's kind of where Baron fits in, is that they have aerial superiority. And right now it looks like they're kind of abusing that concept. Well done. So the crystal is now ours. The Mysidians put up no resistance. In fact, they were completely helpless. Is this pity I perceive? Come, Captain. His Majesty awaits. Alright, so we're gonna go and see the king and apparently hand over the crystal to him. Because he's such a good guy? We're not so sure about that. If you'll excuse me, Captain, I must speak to His Majesty in private. Please wait here. that's not a good sign. Your Majesty, I'm afraid Cecil can no longer be trusted. He clearly questions your authority. I suspected as much. It matters not, so long as I obtain the crystals. Send him in. Yes, Your Majesty. Yeah, the kings are not really going to get different voices. Captain, His Majesty summons you. Just because they're all kind of generic. The Kingdom of Baron hails your return. May I have the crystal? Yes, Your Majesty. Handed over the water crystal. Ah, so we just stole the water crystals, So this is the crystal. What splendor. You're dismissed, Cecil. Uh-oh. Your Majesty. Yes? What is it, Captain? Your Majesty, forgive me, but what are your intentions? My men are confused and displeased. And you? Do you question my command? No, I only ask. Silence! Dissension only leads to treason, and that I will not tolerate. I hereby relieve you of your command of the Red Wings. That's a little harsh. Your Majesty! Instead, I charge you with another duty. Duty. Slay the Eidolon that infests Mist Valley, and deliver this carnelian signet to the village of Mist. You leave tomorrow, at first light. Your Majesty, I beg you to reconsider. Cecil has done no wrong. Meet Cain, everybody. You insolent cur, how dare you barge in here? If you are so concerned about him, you may share his fate. Take the ring and be gone from my sight, both of you! Your Majesty! I'm sorry, Cain. Once we've completed the mission, the king is bound to forgive us both. You will rejoin the Red Wings in no time. Brooding. Get some rest. Leave tomorrow's preparations to me. And now we are in control of Cecil. What's wrong? We have more dialogue. That's what's wrong. I'm sorry to have dragged you into this. My actions are my own. They are not your responsibility. I mastered the dark sword at His Majesty's orders, but it was to protect Baron, not to plunder. Don't torture yourself over orders. Surely the king has his reasons. I envy you, Cain. I envy the path you chose. Well, I suppose I could have attained a higher rank had I become a Dark Knight like you. But then we would have had two Batmans. But my father, who passed away when I was still young, was a dragoon. I felt that I might keep some sort of connection to him if I became a dragoon as well. I didn't mean to bore you with my stories, I only mean to tell you not to overthink things. If you're lost in dark thought, then I'll be the one to steal your prey and slay that Eidolon tomorrow. Oh really? I won't be standing idly on the sidelines. That's more like it. We should get some rest. We rise early tomorrow. Alright, so everybody meet Cain. This is Cecil's best friend in Baron, and he is I think the only dragoon of Baron. And you just saw his reasons. His dad is the main reason why he is a dragoon, but his dad passed away. And both of them were raised by the King of Baron. Nice guy, right? So anyway, I was saying before, welcome everybody to Final Fantasy IV. This actually marks the beginning of the 16-bit era for then Squaresoft. And this is also, and I have no problem saying this, my favorite Final Fantasy title in the series. Bar none. This is actually, when I went past Mystic Quest, this was the first one I picked up. And I have loved it ever since. I was obviously playing the Super Nintendo version, but oh man, the remake they did for PSP is awesome. Cecil! Oh, and thank goodness you're alright. I was so worried. You left on such short notice. Meet Rosa, everybody. We're fine. I wish I could say the same for the Mysidians we slaughtered. Cecil! I'll visit you later, okay? Very well. I'm brooding. Alright, so we have now met Rosa. She's kind of the leading heroine. She's the love interest, basically, of this game, and lover of Cecil. But Cecil, as you can see, is kind of a brutish sort. He doesn't really change. Well, well, well! And we have our Cid, everybody. Look who's back unscathed! And I love that they tried to keep the same animations for the sprites from the Super Nintendo version. That's awesome. Rosa was worried sick about you. Don't you ever worry her like that again, you hear? So, how are my airships? I'll bet you and your goons wrecked them up something awful. Well, there are monster marks. Hey, what's the matter with you, kiddo? The truth is... silence. What? The king demoted you? What about the Red Wings? They'll be a mess without you. What's come over the king? He's been acting peculiar. I don't build my airships so that they can be used to slaughter people. Apparently so. The whole town is beginning to talk, you know. We're talking about rebellion. Cecil, be careful out there. Make short work of that mission and get back safe. Oh, I have to start heading home or my daughter's gonna kill me. Which is Rosa, and we already know she's not home. So Cid was safe. Cid's kind of the comedy relief of this game, and rightly so. He's absolutely hilarious. I changed your sheet, sir. I hear you are to depart early tomorrow morning. Good night. We have a maid. Apparently. But now it is time to go to sleep, for we are to brood in the morning. What's happened to the king? He covets the crystals like a man possessed. And he'll resort to any means to get them. Nevertheless, I can't defy him. How could I cross the man who raised Cain and me like his very own? The chivalrous knight whom I've adored and admired since childhood. I will not betray him. I can't. Cecil! What's going on? You just returned from Mysidia, and now you must journey afar to battle the Cydolan? It's not normal for you to be given such an order. Everything's fine. Cecil, look at me. In Mysidia, we killed innocent people to steal their crystal. It was horrible. I suppose this is my fate as a Dark Knight. Soon, I won't even feel remorse for my actions. You and I both know that would never happen. So I should feel guilt, but still never dare defy my king? I am a hopeless coward. The Cecil I know would never whimper like this. The Cecil I love. You leave for Mist early tomorrow, right? Yes, but you needn't worry. Kane is coming too. I'll be fine. Trust me. Please, come back to me in one piece. Duh. Thank you, Rosa. But you know that I am a Dark Knight, and the two of us can never... Yeah, I'm gonna keep on making Dark Knight jokes, because, man, this guy broods. So, are you ready for some real combat? Always. Then lead the way. This is one of the main reasons I love this game. The music is just awesome, and this remastered score is... It almost hits the nail on the head. It's got a few missing ones, as far as I'm concerned, but it's awesome. And so, the Dark Knight Cecil was stripped of his command as the commander of the Red Wings, captain. He and the Master Dragoon Kane head towards the Dark Valley for the Village of Mist. The advent of the airship marked the realization of Baron's dreams, but also the birth of its militarism. Again, big words. With its Royal Air Force Red Wings, Baron soon reigned supreme. Now, as monsters multiply and stir unrest, Baron only exploits its power to collect the world's crystals. But why? I don't know, I guess we'll find that out. The crystals silently shed their light. And she sells seashells by the seashore. That was kind of a hard sentence to say. Alright, now we actually are kind of in the game, so I can talk a little bit. Like I said, this is my absolute favorite. I am biased on that because my total reason for it is nostalgia. Aside from the fact that it is a good story. But obviously it's also technically, if you don't count Mystic Quest, this was my first Final Fantasy title. I will also willingly admit that one of my favorite characters of the series and of video games, period, is Kane. I love Kane. I love just the concept of his character. Even though it's, some of the stuff that's done with him is a little overdone. And this is actually Rosa's mother. I hear the king and you boys are up to no good these days. Whatever it is you're all doing, keep Rosa out of it, you hear? I know, I didn't even try for an old lady voice. So, right now we're in the town of Baron, but we have our first task, which is to go to the Village of Mist and deliver this signet, or rather a ring, to the Village of Mist. We don't know why, but since the king technically ordered us to go in and slaughter a bunch of people in Mysidia, that's not a good sign. Now, one question that the people who are not familiar with the Final Fantasy series might ask is this the same world as 2 because we have Mysidia? No. This is... I think I've said this before, I'll say it again. Each Roman numeral title in the Final Fantasy line is not connected. But there are tropes that will come through. Obviously, you've seen Cid in 3 of the 4 games that we've been playing. Alright, and this is actually the combat system. This was also another innovation, because I believe this was when they brought in Yoshinori Kitase, who invented the active time battle system, which is in this game, and it's basically that you can sit there and do nothing, but your enemy isn't. They're going to be doing something in the middle of the battle, so you have to be quick about your actions. So people will also see, like, in these battles, I will go super quick, and that's just because this is a system that tries to keep you on your feet, or on your toes. Now, technically, I could be running from these things, but I did want to showcase some of the abilities. Obviously, Cecil is a Dark Knight, and he gets a really powerful ability from the get-go, which is the Darkness ability. But as you can see, it comes at a heavy price. You actually have to spend HP to use it, but it's a really powerful area of effect or group attack. So we will be using that a lot in the beginning of the game. For those who haven't played the game, actually, you know what, I'm not going to spoil that. But one of the things I will say about this is actually the remake of it. This is not the Super Nintendo version. It's not this polished. This is a really good remake of it. Just because I will admit, I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy IV. I have not played the DS remake. I just haven't gotten around to it. I really want to, though, because it's a voiced game. And who knows, maybe I'll do another LP of it just because I love this game. But this is a really great rendition, and I wanted to use this because the sprites just look absolutely polished. It really does bring back kind of that nostalgia. The only complaint I have about this remake is the music. Turn back. What? Who's there? Alright, so like I said, the music is probably the only shortcoming of this game. And that's just because some of the score from Nobuo Uematsu in this is priceless. And the remake just does not match up in some songs. And we'll get into that when we actually hit some of them. But that's really the only complaint I had with it. In fact, there is actually an option, but I couldn't make it work, where you can switch it back to the original Super Nintendo music. And I tried, but for some reason it wouldn't work properly, so there you go. But I really kind of wanted to do this graphical gameplay with Nobuo's original score. And also, one of the big hallmarks of his score in this was from this game, and that is Theme of Love, the theme that we just barely heard from when Cecil and Rosa were talking. That's kind of the theme of their relationship, but one of the things I love about that concept is that, I don't know if it still happens, but there was a point where children in Japanese schools, when they were learning music, they learned Theme of Love. That is awesome. That's like the first recognition I ever remember of a video game affecting real life, where students were learning to play Theme of Love on their little recorders. But we'll actually get into that a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and take a break for this week before I go into nostalgia overload. When we get back, we will go to the town of Mist. But in the meantime, we'll see you next week.